involvement with tumor here, okay? So that's out of 12 biopsies, 10 of them had tumor, and some replaced as much as 90%, 96%, 90%, 90%, 95%, 90%. So it's a very diffuse process, especially on the right side. But even on the left, you have a 90%. So out of the core, there are a lot of them that are replaced with 90% tumor. And also, they pathologists do what they call a Gleason score. They add up two numbers, and it tells kind of how malignant the cells are. And the garden variety
This is my cancer
6.
assessment.
So you've got 1,
from
6, and
regular
you've got
doctor
a couple of 7.
and an
4 plus 3
oncologist is
worse
meeting
than
with
3
us.
plus 4s, and that's what you got. Then also you have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are grade 8 tumors. So those are very high grade. In other words, the cells are very malignant. Now 9 and 10 are worse, but 8's pretty bad. So, and we know I was wrong, I was thinking of a different guy. I left your message, your PSA was actually 27. So that's still too high. If you take people between 10 and 20, under 10, we usually do pretty well. Between 10 and 20 is kind of iffy. Over 20, the odds are that you may have this somewhere else. And I think one thing we ought to do today is just do a CAT scan of your abdomen and pelvis and see if the radiologist can see any lymph nodes. And sometimes they can and sometimes they can't. It's kind of an iffy test because even if they're big, they may be due to something else. But what we know is that you've got a very, very high-grade tumor here. And probably, if we're going to be aggressive, you may be best served by external beam radiation therapy and hormonal therapy. The hormonal therapy takes your PSA your testosterone to 0, so you have it'll make you impotent, give you hot flashes, and then can do some other things too. But if it's out of bounds, that's usually if cows pulled out of the barn while it's shutting the gate, it doesn't do a whole lot of good. We have to treat you that way too. And if you got the radiation and that, then it would be about you'd be at least on those hormone therapies for 2 years. But I think we want a little more information. We ought to do a CAT scan on you this morning. I had Bruce go check, see if we could do that. That's not a big deal. It just takes 5 minutes if we do it.
Well, you said the hormone therapy that you were talking about, the hot flashes, you said another problem too, was it?
Well, there are a lot of other problems with it. That we have to tell people they may have weight gain, they may have more prone to diabetes, they may have more prone to cardiac disease, although there have been studies that show that those people have the same risk that people in the general population have. So I don't know whether that's really so true, but can make you depressed, there are all kinds of things like that, general things. It may make you more prone to diabetes. On the other hand, I've had people on these for years and years and years who do just fine. So we got to tell you the bad things can happen. But if prostate cancer is driven by male hormone, so if you remove it, it will usually regress for a period of 2 to 4 years. It'll make you impotent anyway with the Eligard if we give you that.
Why have we not had the problem yet?
Surgery, we probably
3 years
do
later.
surgery because we can do a node dissection. One advantage of that is we can do a node dissection at that time and see what the nodes really are. And then, because we know where they tend to go. And then another advantage with surgery is you can radiate after surgery, but it's not very easy to operate after radiation because the radiation damages the tissues.
Damages, huh?
So I will talk to Dr. Wilhelm this afternoon about it, see what he says.
Even as bad as this is, it's still a possibility to do surgery.
Yeah, but you got to realize you may have positive nodes and still need systemic therapy. Because I think there's a 50% chance for that.
And the incontinence doesn't ever get any better.
Well, usually at first it may get better for a year, even, but usually within a few months you know where you are. But we know better how to do the operation than we did 20 years ago, and so we have a lot less of that problem. Also, you're not fat. Fat people get it worse, and because they just got a big gut and they tend to have more pressure. So,
I got a horrible gut.
Guys like you,
Not fat, but I got a gut.
generally do better, but you know, Dave's you have to talk to Dave, but Dave's going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you, and that you know this is not good.
But I don't do half of what I know I'm
So
supposed to.
let's get the CAT scan. I'm
going to do it today or now?
Now, if we can.
Okay.
I told Bruce to see what they're doing. So we've got to go down there and see if they can work it in. So I think we ought to get that done today, and I'll try to get Cynthia to get somebody. I'm seeing about 35 people this afternoon, so I'm going to be running, but I'll try to get you. What's your best number to reach you?
No, that's not the number anymore.
677-6589.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's much more important that we make good decisions for you than we make real rapid decisions. So, you know, this has been going on a while.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that I wouldn't even have thought about it if it hadn't been for that, you know, that varicocele.
Well, I know it. I was surprised when I did your rectal exam. But, you know, when I saw you had a PSA of 27,
You nearly killed me getting that done.
And so I think we better just go see if we can do this, and then we'll kind of go from there, okay? And if we do it, you and I can look at it together, but remember, I'm not very good looking at those lymph nodes. I'm good looking at some other things, your kidneys and your bladder, your prostate, but not very good looking for lymph nodes. So we got to rely on the radiologist a little bit. So it's not good, but it's also not hopeless, okay? So we want to just make good decisions with you and for you.
Yeah.
But,
what if he decided not to do anything?
he's going to die.
Well, I mean, I know, but what do you like?
Well, the other thing is, you know, he may get where he can't urinate from the cancer growing, and it's going to go to his bones and give him bad bone pain. So I wouldn't advise that at all. I think we do nothing else, we ought to put you on the hormone therapy. Despite the problems you can get into with it, but we manage it all the time. And there are medicines we can give you for the hot flashes. So if you have
Like a girl.
The wives always laugh. They said, finally he's going to understand what a hot flash is. And some people don't have them very bad, and some people do. There's a drug called Megace we give when you have.
If it gets cold this winter, I'm going to need some.
I don't know how much longer I need to do it, but I sing in a group up here. It's not going to make me start singing tenor, is it?
I don't think so. No, sir.
I worry about a lot of things, don't I?
think so. What kind of singing group is it?
The Golden Spread Chorus. Are you familiar with them? It's a barbershop.
Barbershop?
Yeah. In fact, what's his name?
I'm going to have to do some jabbering right here so you won't talk about somebody personally that's in the group, and because it's not too nice what he says about one of the doctors that's in our group.
But
He's an OBGYN.
he's kind of got a little bit of ego problem.
Anyhow, I'm just going to keep trying to interrupt here.
But I'll say one
Okay,
thing.
blah, 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 blah.
His ego's less what you got to get out.
Okay.
But let's go up here and see what we can do.
Okay.
See what we can look at that. And we'll get coordination.
And as it turned out, after they did the CAT scan and all this kind of stuff, it's a whole lot worse. They said it was spread, and it was in my lymph nodes and going up in my colon and all this kind of stuff. So then that's when he said, yeah, you have less than a year, even at best. And he said, if you take the treatment, what we start on, we should be able to give you another year. Well, I'm not real live, but all them things he said is going to happen haven't happened. And if I'd halfway tried and listened to what a real doctor said, what Robbie said, if I'd controlled my diet better and exercised, I could tell already it would have helped a bunch.